Today I've got an absolute treat. It is a triple collaboration from three very exciting and modern breweries in the UK. The first one is Elusive Brewing, most famous for their Oregon Trail West Coast IPA. I tried that last year and it blew me away. It was one of my favorite beers that I tried in 2025. Highly recommend. The next is Burning Sky. I'm yet to try a beer from Burning Sky, but they are famous for farmhouse styles and Belgian pales and things like that, kind of blending old school farmhouse techniques with kind of modern styles and recipes. So a very interesting brewery. And then you have the Kernel, which is a bit of a legendary London brewery. I have to admit that their branding has never really sold it to me, but they make really exceptional beers, especially across a number of kind of classic styles. They're really well respected in the craft industry. So three really, really great breweries, and this should be an absolutely fantastic beer. Or will it be three exceptional breweries that kind of butt heads and they end up with something that's a little bit of each, but not really blending together? Interesting to find out. But it's a West Coast IPA, and Elusive Brewing with that Oregon Trail really, really know what they're doing with it. So I think it's going to be amazing. All right, looking at the back of the can, this is hosted by Elusive Brewing. So it starts off with a bit about them and then saying that it's collaboration with our friends Burning Sky, the Kernel Brewery, and Phil Lowry. Now, if my mind serves me well, Phil Lowry either works for or used to work for Haas. I hope I'm saying that correct. HAAS, which is like a hop provider, a little bit like Yakima Valley is a hop provider. So I imagine that he's hooking them up with the best hops for this collaboration. So it goes on to say American style double IPA uses a mix of classic Yakima Valley hop varieties, so your classic West Coast American hops, along with experimental variety HBC 522. This hop, actually, I was reading about this. It's a collab between Yakima Valley and Haas, and it's I think it's a Columbus, derived from Columbus, cross mixed. So expecting like a modern West Coast hop, like experimental modern West Coast hop, so maybe a bit brighter, less dank perhaps. And then this is saying to deliver notes of orange citrus, pine resin, and grapefruit in a bright and bitter package. So this sounds like this is going to be a fantastic West Coast IPA, but like a modern style, like quite bright, more juicier, but still harking back to the pine, resiny characteristics that we love with West Coast IPAs, but maybe not the kind of murky earthiness of like your dank West Coast. So kind of a cleaner, brighter West Coast IPA, which sounds just about right for what is going on at the moment in the craft beer scene. It's coming in at 8%, which is big. They've gone very big on this. It is a double IPA. It's called Double Destination. So I imagine you've got Elusive Brewing, who know what they're doing with their West Coast IPAs, Oregon Trail being the case in point. You have Burning Sky, who know what they're doing with kind of big Belgian Pale Ales. So they're probably coming in with the 8% expertise. And you have the Kernel, who are just, all round creating very, very good classic styles. Then you have this Phil Lowry, who's hooked them up with experimental hops at Haas, and then they're crossing this with your classic West Coast hops from Yakima Valley. So, yeah, man, this is very exciting for me. A four-way super team of brewers and hop providers and expertise going on. Hopefully, it is a dream team and not a case of too many chefs. But I reckon it's going to be a dream team brew. But let's find out if Double Destination, four-way collaboration is worth the hype. I think so. All right, that is poured really nicely into the glass. It is a really nice kind of light golden color. So not too much crystal going on. Very beautiful, brilliant white head, quite dense foam going on. It's sticking around. You can see a little bit of haze from a dry hop, but it looks a fantastic beer. And it smells a fantastic beer. So immediately you're getting hit with that kind of citrus note. Definitely orange peel and grapefruit going on, but the grapefruit doesn't smell as kind of sharp as it can. So it's a nice blend of kind of softer orange peel and grapefruit going on. Not picking up too much kind of piney character on the aroma. It is being dominated by that kind of citrus aroma, but smells very, very nice. Smells quite bright and inviting. Can't get any kind of strong alcohol aroma from this, despite it being 8%. So let's dive in. I bet this is going to be wonderful. Yeah, go on then. Go on then. Yeah, well done. That is, I'll tell you what, immediately, you can just off the bat taste it's 8%, but then that kind of dissipates really quickly. So there's no kind of burning high alcohol sensation on this. It does let you know immediately, but it goes away really gently. So I imagine that's Burning Sky, a bit of expertise they got going on there, and then it just really just opens up. It is a really kind of really nice citric but light and bright citric flavor, um, and then it kind of gives this, like, it does have that pininess to it, but it's really light. It makes me think of like this wood that I'm surrounded by, like really light wood. So nothing too kind of dense forest piney. It is like a lighter pine, um, mixing in with that orange peel, orange juiciness, and grapefruit. And the grapefruit kind of brings it back to the kind of West Coast vibe, giving you that bit of kind of acidity, and then that they're mixing in well with the bitterness that you associate with a kind of more West Coast style, as opposed to it being too kind of modern day juicy, citric juicy, leading towards your kind of hazy style. This is, yeah, what I would imagine like a more modern West Coast style is leaning towards, almost like your West Coast IPL perhaps, but done really, really well. And that 8% is dangerous because it is drinking similar to like your Belgian blonde or whatever. You just can't tell how strong it is, and it is really tasty. So it is. It has a nice kind of malt appearance to it. It kind of hints on sweetness and it hints on dryness. So there's a balance there between the two. That's done really well. And that just lets the rest of the beer, the hops and the bitterness, really take the prime position. And then that bitterness is strong enough, but not enough. It's not your, like back in the day when they used to compete as to how many IBUs they could squeeze into a West Coast IPA and it would blow your head off. It was kind of like a bitterness battle going on. This is enough bitterness to please someone who likes West Coast, but also not too much that some of these newer drinkers will be put off by it. It is really in the pocket there. And just all around, just that grapefruit, orangey citrus is really, really nice, really inviting, and a really well done IPA. This. Yeah, fair play. Really good collaboration. Really well done. All of the breweries and the experimental hops involved in this has come out really well. Um, I imagine that they've used the Yakima hops for like the bittering, etc., and then they're presenting this 522 experimental hop, perhaps late whirlpool dry hop, and that's what's dominating that kind of orange peel, grapefruit, brighter kind of aroma, and then kind of brighter uh, taste profile that's going on. So you have a nice kind of West Coasty bitterness layer from those Yakima hops, and then what's prominently on display is this experimental hop that they've got going on. And it is really, really nice hop. Actually, I would like to brew with this. Let's go back west, mate. I do love hazies and stuff, but there is something about the dance on your tongue from a bitter IPA. It leans more back towards the original, the English IPA. It's supposed to, put hair on your chest. Um, it's a proper beer. It is a proper beer. You're not drinking a fruit smoothie. You are drinking a bitter, fruity beer, and I love it. I love a West Coast style, and this is moving back towards that. So it's like a bright West Coast, and I'm all for it, lads. All for it. I'll pour some more in, mate. My son's at a Ethiopian Orthodox Christian Christmas party right now. They're there the whole day into the evening. So I thought it's Saturday. When are you going to get a chance to knock an 8% beer down the gullet? And right now is perfect. It's about minus 15 degrees outside in Finland. I'm in Helsinki right now. It's very, very cold. But Finnish construction is masterful for winters, and it's very warm. And I'm sat in a sauna, and I feel like this is the perfect moment for this beer. I've been eyeing it up for a little while. It doesn't have a best before or anything on it, so I get a little bit of oh, it does have a best before. Right there, you go. It's hiding right at the bottom. Best before end June 2026. So I'm drinking it still quite fresh. Fair play. Well worth a shout, lads. I'm definitely going to be trying to find some Burning Sky. I haven't seen it on my usual beer providers, but I'm going to check out their website. I like to be able to buy like only 2-3 beers. I don't like buying packs of 12s or whatever because I just don't drink. I like to try many different beers, and buying like a pack of 12 it commits me to something. And I've got like a crate from my mate Dave, a really nice beer, and that's going to be my kind of go to. Not doing a review, just want to watch the football or whatever. So I've got those to get through. Um, so if you know where to get hold of Burning Sky, couple of bottles or cans or whatever they're doing, I'm interested. Likewise, the Kernel. This year, I want to give them uh, more of a chance. Like I said, their branding. It looked to me. It reminds me a bit like a whiskey branding, like that kind of it. That kind of fake. Our branding is like old brownie label, almost like typeface logo, and it kind of comes across as like this try hard. We're a 200-year-old whiskey distillery, but we're not. but we want you to think that. That's what that kind of I got from the Kernel, and it kind of put me off trying their beer. But I think I tried their stout, and I was quite impressed with it. And then I've just, just viewing other people and seeing other reviews. The Kernel is quite well respected, so I think this year I'm going to give the Kernel a proper go, a proper chance, because they evidently make really great beer. I just got lost in the branding, which is really, silly of me, because beer and branding are two different things. It's important. Branding is important, but like, if you make get good beer, you make good beer. So, gonna give the Kernel a proper chance in 2026. I love Elusive Brewing. I loved their Oregon Trail. I'm gonna drink more of their beers for sure. They're one of my favorite UK breweries. And this Phil Lowry, he's got the hookup, mate. He is the plug. He is the hop plug. So, yeah, man. I don't think I'm following him on any socials, so I'm gonna give him a follow. But I have come across him reading about Haas Hops. So yeah, HBC 522, an interesting hop. Might give it a go in one of my pale ales or IPAs, because it's kind of West Coast leaning. It's a Columbus derived hop, but it's kind of brighter, and it's got a beautiful kind of orange peel and grapefruity brightness to it. Which is what I'm really kind of going for at the moment. I feel like I'm being pulled back to the West Coast, but I don't want to go too far. Like, I'm not saying we should go back to the dank West Coast days and the IBU off that was going on. Like, how bitter can you drink and blah blah blah. No, I like pininess. I like a slight amount of dank. I like a little bit of earthiness because it's an ode back to your English hops, and I like citrus notes and grapefruit, all good. And if you can get in some tropical as well, why not? Let's meet in the middle of hazies and West Coast and make something like this, which is kind of West Coasty but still quite bright and a little bit juicy. It's fantastic. It really is. It's fantastic. Yeah. Big fan of that. Really big fan of that. Spot on, mate. Spot on. It's a gulper. Certified gulper. Certified gulper. Oh yeah, certified gulper. Like, I'm like the Churchill dogs. Like, oh yes, oh yes. Some of you might be a bit too young to remember the Churchill dog, but selling insurance, little bulldog. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yeah, oh yes. If Churchill was a bulldog, he'd be drunk and saying, "Oh yes." And I need to go and eat some more food because this 8% beer has gone straight to my head. I sound like my mother at Christmas. Um, I'm feeling a little bit woozy, mate. A little bit tipsy. Might have drunk this too fast. I've got to pull myself together. I'm saving this can. This can is worth saving. A quadruple. I don't. Why haven't they put Phil Lowry's name on the front of this can? It's a four-way. He's hooked up the hops. He deserves that space there. Deserves Phil Lowry's name. If I was Phil Lowry, I'd be like, boys, you've left me out here. You have left me out. I do like the elusive branding though. It's kind of 80s, 90s gamer vibe. I'm about it. It reminds me of my childhood going to play Streets of Rage at my cousin's house. Nintendo, SNES, NES, bit Duck Hunt, Home Alone, Mario, Oregon Trail. Um, yeah, man. Those were the days. Those were the days. Wasn't drinking beer in those days, but I imagine it was quite the time. Being old enough to drink beer and playing classic video games must have been the vibe, mate. Must have been an absolute vibe. Fair enough. It's literally like, give me more. It's like last drips. Should be a term, like I call it a gulper when I love a beer. Like it's down in 3 gulps, but like there should be a higher tier where it's like last drops, like begging for another drop. Deary me. Is that the start of my OnlyFans? Maybe.